everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue and I am back for another episode of Queen Sugar. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so this episode, Nova decided to take her ass to LA to see Mr. Dubois. Okay, on her trip there, they make love in the backseat of an SUV under a covered parking garage. Then they spend some time together and go to a damn near all-white dinner filled with psychopathic kings of the world, okay? Okay, white kings of the universe, all right? Rulers of the domain. These are the people that they went to dinner with. And it was very awkward because even though some of them were nice rich men, there was one in particular that was like a travesty to humanity, like somebody that should never be on this earth. People who feel like they should have, human selection and certain people don't meet their criteria, so they shouldn't even be allowed to breathe. They shouldn't be allowed to be on this earth and take up our space. And if we're going to pay for the poor black and Latino and white people, or we're going to pay for the immigrants that we allow into this country that, is raping and y'all, I cannot deal. Okay, I am not one of those people. I don't give a fuck where you are from, who you are. I feel like everybody has and deserves a chance at a good life, no matter what their background, color, any of that fuck shit, even their intelligence. Because I've noticed over my years that everybody don't have the same strengths. Some people may not be as intelligent, but they may be some of the sweetest, most heartfelt people ever. I know people that aren't socially able to interact with other people, but they can fix any fucking thing that you put in front of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's to say? And that was Nova's argument with this man at the table, which was, who are you to decide what is acceptable? Who are you to decide? Because you're a doctor. Oh my God. Doctors kill me with that. You think just because you went to school for a long period of time and learned some shit about the human body that other people have already done most of the hard work for you, all you have to do is memorize the shit. And you treat people and you don't really treat them in the best way because you put them in debt. You make them keep coming back because the medicines that you prescribe only fix a momentary problem. They don't fix the overall problem in a lot of these cases. Like, let's be real. The whole system of hospitals, doctors, insurance companies is a fucking scam. It's terrible. And it's one of the most awful things that has happened to our society. But what are we going to do? Okay, we just have to deal. But the fact that some of you think that you are on a higher plane of existence all because somebody rich enough to put you through medical school did it, and now you're on the top of the fucking world thinking that you're better than everybody because you had better circumstances or better luck, as you would call it. Yeah, man, I'm not here for that. And I was totally understanding Nova's point of view with fuck you. I do not have to sit at the table with people like that. People that I think don't deserve to be on this earth because they feel like it is their place to decide who is up to par, because that it was just on so many levels ignorance masqueraded as intelligence. But either way, Nova couldn't take it no more and got up from the table and went into the back, and she was pissed off at Dr. Dubois for even bringing her around these people. Why are you here? Why are you even hanging around these people? She doesn't understand that he has learned that he has to play the game and find out where their heads are so that he can use that either against them or have a defense now that he knows what is circling in these rooms, And she did not understand that. So she took her ass back to Louisiana to cry on Aunt Vi's lap, okay? And Aunt Vi just basically told her, girl, I'm gonna need for you to stop whining about having a successful, fine black man who wants to be with you. I'm gonna need for you to stop, girl. Pull it together. You try to find any reason you can find to find fault in people. That's what you do. You run away from your problems, and then when you find a problem where you're at, you run back. All you do is run back and forth through your problems. You need to sit still, okay? Sit your ass still and give that good black man a chance, goddamn it, okay, girl? I said if I was of age and of health and didn't have my Hollywood, girl, bent over a table, okay? Bent over a table with some buttermilk biscuits after, bitch, okay? Anyway, y'all, Charlie did her interview. And the interview came out and everybody's reading it and everybody's looking at it, and I think that even though she was happy with the interview, she did not like this stern depiction of herself. So she gets up that morning, looks at herself in the mirror, and decides not to straighten her hair and to just wear it curly. Then she meets with Remy. She meets with Remy at the office, and he tells her that he read the article and the other farmers read the article, and they did not like some of the things they heard because it made it seem as if she was just trying to find herself and maybe was not as solidified in this business as they need her to be, because they don't want to, 2 years from now have to go back to dealing with the price gouging that the Landrys have exposed them to because they're black. They don't want to have to go back to that. So they want to know that Charlie is serious about the sugar mill. And I think if they don't know by now that she is, I don't even know what to say. But she's going to, get together with them and have a meeting with them, right? Before that happens, she has a conversation with Darla. And Darla just wants to know how they are. Where are they in their relationship? And she says, well, I'm going to be honest with you. I did not like that you did not tell me about the will. And I'm finding it hard to trust you now. And Darla is such a complex but very interesting, intriguing character. After seeing what she went through, she is so stoic, even though you can tell that she puts forth an immense amount of effort to be as stoic as she is. She's almost right every time she replies to somebody who comes at her sideways. And she replies to Charlie with, I am sorry that I made you feel that way, but it was not my place to tell you that. It was not my story to tell. Okay, that was between you and Ralph Angel, and it would have been wrong if I would have told you that. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like Darla was absolutely right, and Charlie was just going to have to respect that as far as I'm concerned. Ralph Angel takes a look at his bills and realizes that he may not be able to just get on without Charlie's help the way he thought he could. And he gets on the phone with Aunt Vi and asks her to talk to Charlie for him. And she is stressed out enough. She is over there baking pies and cooking and trying to make things happen in her life. And she's exhausting herself, worrying about Ralph Angel, worrying about Charlie, worrying about Nova, worrying about the farm, worrying about everybody but her own business. And Hollywood tells her that she needs to slow down before she hurt herself. And he's like, what you trying to say? I'm old? No, I'm trying to say you pushing yourself too hard and you look tired. That's what I'm trying to say. And, I think she lets it go in one ear and out the other, because later on, they're at the diner, all the farmers and Charlie, and she gives this epic speech to them about how this is for her daddy, this is for her, and this is for the other farmers. She is doing this for them. And that, yes, she was uncertain and it was hard finding her footing in this business that she's never been in before. But there's one thing she's serious about, and that is the sugar mill. And she, basically puts all their reservations aside and makes them feel comfortable, and they pray and they eat. And everybody is talking and shit after, and they clean it up, and Aunt Vi passes out. And we like, what the fuck? And when, Hollywood and Charlie run to her aid and help, get her up, and she comes to, and she's like, I'm all right, but you know what? Y'all cheering this show is tiring me, okay? You get with Ralph Angel and your sister, and y'all fix this, you hear me? So that makes her more inclined to fix the shit, right? Blue is wanting to know why his mom and his dad aren't living in the same house anymore, why she isn't home. And it's a tough conversation for them to have with Blue. But Darla basically sits him down and tells him that when she's not there with Ralph Angel and him, she's basically getting herself together. Okay, her time away is like medicine to make sure that she stays well and she doesn't get sick again. And she has her 2-year anniversary thing, and Ralph Angel comes, and so does Charlie. And we didn't know if Charlie was gonna come. And Darla is up there beaming like a fucking light. Okay, like seriously, the acting being done on this show is so crazy, man. It's so crazy good, because like Darla just wears everything on her in such a way that it gets a lot of emotion out of me whenever I see Darla. She's so quiet and reserved, but you can tell shit is rolling. Them neurons is moving, okay, in her head, whether she's thinking about what she wants to say or how she wants to represent herself or what she needs in the moment. To see her be this strong is so contradictory to the story that we knew of her before we got to this place. You know what I'm saying? It's really crazy. But anyway, she gets up there and gives her speech, and after, her sponsor talks to Ralph Angel, and I'm like, she got a good sponsor, because her sponsor goes up to him and tells him, look, I know you love her and all of that, but please make sure you're strong enough to help her through this, because if you're not, you need to let her go. Because the last thing I want to see is her relapse, because she couldn't be everything you needed for her to be. So I need for you to be sure that you can help her forever, because this is not just a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year process. This is forever. Forever she will be an addict that is trying to stay healthy and stay clean. And you need to be ready for that. They have that conversation. And then Charlie and Darla had their conversation, and, you know, she lets her know that she's there for her, and that, you know, Charlie was wrong. Charlie was wrong, okay, in so many words. But her and Ralph Angel, their conversation is the one that was the interesting one. And in it, she tells him that she was not just gonna let him, you know, just gonna leave him out there with no money. And he's like, look, can I please just stay on the payroll until we get everything together, you know, until I can handle it myself? Can I just stay on the payroll and da 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 da? And basically just asking her to forgive him for being an asshole and to still help him, because even though he's a man and prideful, he knows that he cannot do all of this on his own. And Charlie's response was so surprising to me, you guys. I was surprised that she was like, of course, I would never just leave you out there like that. Of course, I'm going to help you. What do you mean? I was very surprised by that. And her saying that it was more important to her to still have her relationship with her little brother than anything else. I thought she said little brother, y'all. I could be wrong. Everybody, I know we've been going back and forth about the ages. I thought that Nova was the middle child, because I thought Charlie came first, because Charlie always seems like she's the oldest for some reason. But I guess I was wrong. I guess Nova's the oldest. The daddy cheated and had Charlie, and then the makeup baby was Ralph Angel. I guess that's how it went. But I want them to be closer knit, because you want to see families like that, especially when they have such things that separate them, like a whole nother mama. Okay, trust me, being half siblings is not all it is cracked up to be. Because like there's a real separation between me and my siblings. We try, but there's a definite separation. Davis West and Lamar, I think is her name, that really pretty activist that we saw like maybe 2 episodes ago when they were doing the Habitat for Humanity. They go on a date. They're really enjoying each other's company. And like I said, she is going to be the diamond in the rough to change Davis West around. What he could not give his wife, he is probably going to end up giving to this girl. And even though that's cool and awesome, and, you know, yeah, I'm still upset about it, because I feel like if you would have been the man that you're trying to be now for Charlie, then y'all would have never got a divorce. Even though I feel like it's too late and we can't go back, because too much has happened, and I'm happy to see him moving on, happy to see her moving on. It's just some part of me that wishes that he would have been able to make this right with her. You know, I guess it's the Micah in me, because like a kid, you want your parents to be together. And I kind of felt where he was coming from with that. This episode was very telling on what happened with Micah. It wasn't apparent to me that something had happened that we didn't know about when he got arrested, but there was. So while Davis is on this date with this woman, Micah calls him and he says that he's doing a business meeting. Micah and his girlfriend Kiki and her friend Keisha are walking around New Orleans, and they see some kids getting arrested by the park, and they just sit there and wait to make sure everything is okay. Micah's white friends come up and ask him to go hang out, and he's like, you know what, we cool, we just gonna sit back for a minute, but I'll see you at school. And after everything disperses, they go to walk, and they walk past the restaurant that Davis and Lamar are eating at, and the 2 girls see Lamar and the daddy, and like, oh my God, is that Lamar? Is that your daddy on the date? And he runs in there and says, oh, so you must be the new one. Very disrespectful. And Davis jumps up like, oh boy, you better act like you got some motherfucking sense up in here. Okay, but it does not matter, because Micah has just, you know, basically found his daddy in a lie. And when you have seen your daddy lie and be disrespectful like that, it is very hard to allow them to parent you. Okay, because you feel like you got one up on him. All that shit you be talking, and look what you doing. Like, that's how you feel. And that's how Micah felt in that moment. But later on that night, when they get home, Davis goes into his room and like really sits there. We gonna talk, because I want my son back. So you need to tell me what happened to you. And it took a lot of coaxing from him and a lot of crying. But eventually he says that that cop was calling him an uppity nigga, and rode past the police station and pulled into a dark alley and said that he couldn't stand uppity niggas with silver spoons in their mouth, so he was going to put something else in his mouth. And he put the gun in that little boy's mouth and pulled the trigger, and then took him back to the station. He had peed on himself before, and we didn't see it. I'm guessing he peed on himself when he, you know, because I was like, damn, I mean, people that got arrested before and not peed on themselves. What's up with that? But you know, they was building him soft. But see, this is much worse. For him to think in that moment that he was really gonna die, that somebody had took advantage of him in that way, is infuriating. It is so of all the evil in the world that you as a police officer and as an older man would take advantage and do something like that to that young boy. I almost thought he was gonna rape Micah. Like, I'm gonna put something in your mouth. What do you mean you gonna put something in your mouth, you fucking pervert? Like, oh my God, that was like the most terrible thing to listen to. And Davis just hugs his son, and you guys, I was just like, wow, tough scene to watch. Tough scene to watch. And Micah did, that dude that plays Micah did such a great job with that scene, because nobody's just gonna outwardly say no shit like that, especially a young black boy. And it showed the amount of effort it took for him to say that shit to his dad. You know what I'm saying? And to actually be a child, instead of, you know, I'm all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, doing a Will Smith, no man, I'm gonna be all right, you know, like y'all, that was a tough scene to fucking watch. So Dr. Dubois decides that after Nova left LA and went back to Louisiana while he was at work, he is gonna pop up on her and show her the plan that he came up with using the words of that bigot at that dinner. Okay, to help the people in the Ninth Ward and to help them get funding. He didn't exactly say what the plan was, but it did change Nova's mind enough for her to let him stay. And while they're doing them, Charlie and Remy are having a conversation about their relationship, and she says that she's sorry and she did not mean to let him think that their relationship was a given. She didn't mean to take him for granted. And even though I was so upset with him last episode, to watch her have humility and cry and beg for this man to give her a chance, knowing how he came off, which was in like a reboundy, soft way, you know, at first, it made me feel like he was playing a long game. Remy is a very smart man, and that's a depiction of him we've seen this entire time. And I almost felt like he had to get her together last episode, no matter how mad it made us. He had to get her together so that he could make her realize that either you're going to show up or you're not going to show up. Her not talking about their relationship in the article, not mentioning a divorce, you know, just how she's kind of been, you know, standoffish in their little relationship, him never knowing what it's going to be. Like, I feel like all of that has made him feel like he was always going to be the man that loved her more than she loved him. And he needed her to come correct in order for their relationship to be real, because he wasn't used to being in anything that wasn't real. We saw his raw emotion towards his wife that died, and it tells me that if he was going to be in it, he needed her to be in it just as much as he was in it, and that's what he got. And to watch her beg for him to just, you know, and then they kissed, and I was like, oh Lord. It was so much. Okay, and then Ralph Angel, y'all. Ralph Angel lit some candles and put some flowers out and told Darla, I just wanted to do something for you. I wanted to do something for you to show you that I had your back and I support you and I won't be there for you, and I'm going to do everything I got to do to make you stay on your game so I can stay on my game, and I want you here with me every day, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. And he get on one knee and pull out the ring and ask her to marry him, and she said yeah, and I get emotional. Queen Sugar was so good, y'all. I know a lot of people say it's a slow show, but I feel like anybody that really likes really good television or can appreciate some artistry will love Queen Sugar. It's shot beautifully. Even, I don't know if y'all even notice down to the details how they'll have them wearing a color which is similar to the background that are on the walls, like, you know, in the shots. And it's just, oh man, the acting and the storyline so well put together and so meaningful. Ralph Angel crying his eyes out when he proposed to Darla, showing all of that, you know, just all of that raw emotion for her in a way that was, I give in to you. I kneel to you as my woman, because he's so macho man with her. So if you my woman, you supposed to stay by my side and all of that shit. So for him to get down on one knee and say, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to be with you, that right there that was it. That was it. So yeah, y'all, that was Queen Sugar. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.